So we're going to call this more information.
This is kind of like a study guide, right?
This is kind of like more information related to pyramids, cones, and sapphires. I don't care. Just don't bring me a planner, just go. Okay. There's going to be a question on your study guide tomorrow that relates to slant height, but we haven't talked about it yet. Okay? So, for me, the best way to explain slant height to you is for you to draw a pyramid here, the best you can. And we'll go back, and then we'll dash it across the back, and then we'll dash it down this way. So you're drawing like a parallelogram. And then up over the top of this area, you can just put a point. And then connect that point. When you connect that point to the front vertices, it can be solid. But when you connect that point to the back left vertex, it's got to be dashed because you can't see it from this view. Agreed?
Agreed.
Now, these points, these are all vertices, right, of the base. The solid lines going up to this vertex at the top, those are called edges. Those are where the faces meet each other. Okay? These sides of this pyramid are called faces. Now, we talked about this dimension the other day, right here. And we said that it is the height, right? Now, this dimension right here, from the top of the pyramid to the middle of a side, right down the face, that is called slant height. And it comes down the middle of a face and it intersects the base at 90 degrees here. But if you complete this triangle with the slant height and the height, do you see that you form a right triangle? Does everybody see that? The slant height is the hypotenuse of a right triangle. One of the legs of the right triangle is the height, isn't it? And the other leg of the right triangle is half of this piece right here, or half of the width of the base. All right, so let's say that this piece of the base is 50. All right? And you're told that the slant height is 32. So the way this would be worded find the volume of a pyramid. With base edges 50. And a slant height of 32. But you're going to be given the information in text. You're not going to get a picture. That's what the picture looks like, though, of this word problem. What does volume of a pyramid equal?
1/3.
1/3. Volume of a pyramid
Times the capital B times height.
times the area of the base times the height. So what are you missing in this picture? Aren't you missing the height of the pyramid? So look, this right triangle, the red right triangle that we just talked about, you're looking for the height of this pyramid. What is this bottom portion, or what is the other leg of the right triangle?
25.
This piece is 25. So you got to do the Pythagorean theorem to find the height of the pyramid, to find the volume of the pyramid. So wouldn't the height squared plus 25 squared equal the hypotenuse squared, or the slant height squared? Now let me show you a shortcut. Don't do anything. Just stop and watch. This is a shortcut. You're gonna, instead of squaring these first, okay, do this. Write minus 25 squared. These will cancel, and h squared is going to equal. Now, this can be one step in your calculator. You can type 32 in the black calculator. You can type 32 x squared minus 25 x squared and push equals. And you're going to have a number sitting on your screen. And what does it say? What is it? This one doesn't work?
Oh, wait, did that just come on? Oh, wow.
399? So if this is 399 and you're just going to square root each side, all you have to do now is push the square root button. 19.97.
Is it going to tell you what's wrong too? Or you would just...
Well, what I'm going to do now is I've got the one thing that I can't emphasize to you guys enough. It is just so, it saves you so much time. Always leave the last number in your calculator. Because look what you're going to do. You just found this height, right?
So you're going to times it by 1/3 of the base.
Well, you're going to times it by the area of the base, and then you're going to times it by 1/3. So if you do this, if you say to yourself, my volume is going to equal 1/3 times, isn't the area of the base going to be 50 squared? Times my height, which is in my calculator. So what I would do now is, since this number's in your calculator and you've got the extra decimal places, then just do your multiplication now backwards. Does that make sense?
Wait, so why is 50 squared? Because wouldn't it be 25?
No, your base, it says volume of a pyramid with base edges 50. So that's 50. This is 50. They're all 50. So it'd be 50 times 50 for the area of the base.
Oh, okay.
So now when you're going to find the volume, you've got the number in your calculator. So all you push is times, and then push 50 in the x squared button, and then times again and push 1/3 and hit equals. And you should get something like 16645.8. And that's your volume. And by always leaving the last number in your calculator, and then just knowing that in multiplication, order doesn't matter, you have to type less things into the calculator. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you're using more decimal places that were in your previous answer, so your answer in the end is more accurate. Okay? Any problems with that question?
No.
All right. Then you're going to have a problem on your study guide that says the volume of a sphere is, let's say it's 2,225 pi meters cubed. What is the surface area of the sphere? Just really hard to pronounce. I have a hard time with that. You're given volume and you're asked for surface area, right? So what's volume of a equal to?
4/3 times pi r squared.
4/3 pi r cubed. And what's surface area equal to?
4 times
4 pi r squared.
Pi r squared. So what do we need to find surface area? You need the radius, don't you? So if you need the radius, but all you're given is the volume, don't you set the volume equal to the volume formula?
Yeah.
And you solve for the radius. Okay? So you're going to make this 4/3 pi r cubed equal to 2225 pi. So these cancel, right? And if you divide both sides by 4/3, so your 2225 divided by 4/3 equals 1668.75. So that cancels. You divide it by 4/3. Your r cubed equals 1668.75. 1668.75. And we said yesterday that you're going to third root both of these now. So that number's still sitting in your calculator, right? So on the black calculator, look down on the bottom next to the, right behind the 0. There's another black calculator over here on that end desk. What do you see behind the 0 in green ink? Cube root, don't you? So you've got this value sitting in your calculator. If you push second 0, it cube roots it for you. And all you had to do was push 2 buttons, so it's 11.86 is your radius. See it? So now look, you're going back here, aren't you, to surface area. And what are you going to do with that radius?
You're going to plug it in.
Right, but it's already in. It's sitting in your calculator, isn't it? It's on the screen. So can't you push the x squared button?
Yeah.
And then times pi button? And then times what? 4, and push equals. And you've got the most accurate answer you can get. So your surface area should be equal to 1767.95, right? Is that what your screen says?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes.
Anybody confused?
The meters cubed or squared?
Say again.
The meters cubed or squared?
What is this? Stand for? And what is area always given in? Square units. Very good. And volume is always given in cubic units.
I think we did a problem like that last night.
Oh.
Yeah, we did it.
I just wanted to go over it again because someone in another class then, they set, I think they set, I don't know, they set like the volume equal to the surface area to solve for R or something like that. And it just It didn't work.
Okay.
And I want to remind some of the other classes about if something is raised to the third power, to eliminate that third power, you cube root it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's try this. Let's find the volume of a cone. With a base circumference of 20 pi and a height for less than twice the radius. Give your answer in terms of pi and rounded. So we're doing two answers here. Okay?
Yes.
So what are they asking for? Volume of a cone. So volume of a cone is equal to what? 1/3 area of the base times the height. Okay? What's the shape of a cone?
I thought that was a pyramid.
Let's see. Find the value. It's the same formula.
Oh.
The area of the base just changes.
Area of the base just has a different formula, right? So look, here's what you're dealing with. You've got a cone, right? You need to find the volume of the cone. The circumference of this base is 20 pi. So the circumference equals 20 pi. What's the shape of the base of a cone?
Circle.
It's a circle, isn't it? What's the formula for circumference of a circle?
2
2 times pi r squared. 2 times pi r.
Thought it was pi times diameter. Or 2 pi r.
Yeah.
Both, right?
Yeah.
So pi times diameter works, doesn't it? So what we're trying to do with this circumference is get the radius of this base so we can find the area of the base. Right? You with me? There's not enough information in the question to just do the problem, is there?
No.
Because the height is 4 less than twice the radius. This big letter B is pi times radius squared. Radius is pretty important, isn't it? So if 20 pi is the circumference, and circumference also equals pi times diameter, then 20 pi equals pi times diameter. Can't you cancel the pi's? So what's the diameter? 10. So what's the radius? No. What's the diameter? 20. What's the radius?
10.
So 10 equals your radius. So watch. Over here now, volume equals 1/3 times pi times 10 squared, right?
Alright.
Pi times r squared times the height. This says that the height 4 less than twice the radius.
So it's 16.
So the height is equal to 2 times the radius minus 4.
So it's 16.
4 less than twice the radius. It's 16, but I'm trying to show some people how you got that 16. Okay? So 2 times your radius is 20, minus 4 is, there's your height. So now they want it in terms of pi. So in your calculator, it's 1/3 times 10 squared times 16. $533 1/3.
Yes.
And 1/3 pi. And then in decimal form to the nearest tenth, so you push times pi button and hit equals. 1675.5. Yeah, go ahead. Any questions there? Okay. You'll have a problem on your study guide. You don't need to write this down, hopefully. That looks like, something looks like this. And this. And this. And you're asked to find the volume. So isn't it going to be the volume of the cylinder plus volume of a cone? And that'll equal volume of the composite shape. Okay? All right, so find the diameter of a sphere. Diameter of a sphere with volume 288 pi. No, with volume 327 pi meters cubed. So again, you're going to have to use that volume to find a radius, aren't you? So what is the volume of a sphere equal to?
4/3.
4/3 times pi r.
Oh, really? That's it.
That's a
All right, and they're telling you the volume is 327 pi. So you take the formula for volume, which is 4/3 pi r cubed, and you make it equal to 327 pi. Cancel the pi's, right?
Yes.
Divide by 4/3. And the radius cubed equals 245 1/4.
Yeah. This one was not.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know how to cube something on this calculator?
Cube it or find the cube root of it.
Find the cube root of it, sorry.
Look right above the zero.
Not on this one. I know
Right.
how to do on this one. It wasn't working.
It's not above the zero.
No.
You're looking for a button that looks like this, and it's probably going to be in green.
It's not big.
All right, so then you're going to find the cube root of 245 1/4. So in the black calculator, it's second zero. And let's go with 6 point. It's 25945. 25945. But just leave it sitting in your calculator because they're asking for the diameter. So what do you got to do with this radius?
Times
By times it by 2. So push times 2 and equals. And let's go with 12.52. Any questions? The other two problems that are going to be on your study guide, we've already done an example of in one way or another. Okay? So hopefully you've got this written down, and then when you get your study guide tomorrow, yeah, you're going to want to have your notes out from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on your desk, and then just match up the study guide problems to the problems in your notes. And then you have to practice them more than once.